A lot of people find it difficult to understand the differences between management, administration, and leadership. But that is not the objective of this our video. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for getting to our channel to watch a video concerning organizational management theories. Now, I will dive deeply directly to the topic. Our topic is organizational management theories. That is, trying to figure out the various theories that have existed since inception of management or since the existence of organizations, the various management theories that have been used since the inception of organizational management. So our work is divided into different sections, and this section of our work we pay more emphasis on a particular issue of concern. I'll start by defining what a theory is all about. What is a theory? Theories refers to scientific constructs or ideologies that are propounded or initiated in order to talk or in order to expatiate or in order to conclude on a particular issue of concern. What is management? Management can simply be defined as a process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing, budgeting, and evaluating. So we are going to dive directly to the objective of this particular lesson we are about to give you. So we'll look at the history of the School of Management thought. We'll look at the classification of management theories, and we'll look at the problems and conflicting issues in management. And after that, we are going to conclude. So this video, we are going to pay more emphasis on the classification of management theories. So when we talk of the classification of management theories, we are going to talk about the evolution of management theories since inception. So ladies and gentlemen, stay connected to the video while I take out time to clearly highlight the classification of management theories. Hello viewers, welcome back. Now in this particular section, I'm going to talk about the classifications, how management theories have been classified since the creation or since the inception of organizational management. So the first theory or the first classification as far as management theories are concerned, or let me say, permit me to say, there are three main classifications of management theories. No matter the type of management theory you have seen or you have heard about, it must or they must belong to each or any of the category I'm going to mention right now. So I want you to understand how these theories have been classified. Now, the first classification is the classical management theories classification or category. That is the first category, the classical management theories. Under the classical management theories, we have the scientific management theory, we have the administrative management theory, we have the bureaucratic management theory. The second classification or category is the neoclassical management theories category. The neoclassical management theory category. Under this category, we have two main theories. Here we are talking about the human relations theory. That's the human relation theory, and we'll also talk about the behavioral school. So those are the two theories that have existed or that existed under the neoclassical theory category. We also have the modern management theory category. That is the third category or the third classification. So under the modern management theories category, the first one is the system theory or the system management theory. We have the contingency theory, we have the organizational humanism theory, and we have the management science, which is the current management theory organizations are mostly using. So viewers, you have seen how management theories have evolved, that they have moved from the classical management theory through the neoclassical management theory up to the modern management theory. So I'm talking about the modern management theory. We have seen the management science as the ongoing theories used in organizational management. So stay connected while we expatiate, while we talk about these theories deeper according to their assumptions and their implications.
I'll be talking on the scientific management theory, which is first under the classical management theory. This theory was propounded by Frederick Taylor in the year 1913. And when this theory was discovered, he brought out certain assumptions that could be used to back up this theory. Firstly, he brought a point on management shall have central control and authority over everything that is going through in that company. Workers should be trained for their specific tasks in the company. There should be a clear division of labor. Planning and central shall have approved conditions of excellence in that company. Cooperation between management and workers is essential. Efficiency can be achieved through time and motion. After these assumptions, he brought out certain principles that could be used to make the assumptions more firm. Firstly, I'll list the points as below. Scientific study of tasks, scientific selection of workers, scientific planning and training of workers, standardization of work, and division of labor, whereby I'm going to state basically two of the points. Under division of labor, Frederick was trying to say that one person cannot take charge over everything in a company. So work must be splitted. They must divide work in such a way that everybody can participate to make the work both efficient and quick. The next point I'm going to explain under is scientific training of workers. He brought out certain trainers that could train the employees into knowing what is best or good for the company, because you cannot do what you don't know. You must learn, and in order to learn, you must have good teachers. Without good teachers, people cannot work. He equally brought out scientific selection of workers. To work on the plantation, you don't need lazy workers. You need hard-earned laborers to work on that plantation. Thereby, the selection process which was brought forth to select workers. And I'll be continuing with the advantages and disadvantages of this scientific management theory. On the advantages of this scientific management theory: 1, it increases efficiency. 2, it leads to better productivity at the workforce. 3, it leads to structured decision making. 4, it brings forth incentive and rewards. 5, it leads to employee specialization, whereby I'll be making emphasis just on 2 main points. On the employee specialization, I mean by, in a company you discover that we have entrepreneurs, we have managers, we have accountants. As the employer, you have to look at your employees and discover what they are best at. We have people that are very good at marketing, and you make use of such resources. Don't just neglect it because they are employees. Make use of that specialization. The next point I'll be emphasizing on is structured decision making. Under this structured decision making, we discovered that since there is one person taking the decision making, it's very fast and it's straight to the point. There's nobody there that's going to contradict whatsoever that is happening there in the company, and the decision will be very quick and fast to lead to fast. That's going to lead to implementation. Under these advantages, I'll look at the disadvantages, because any good thing must have a negative effect. 1, it leads to lack of flexibility. 2, resistance to change. 3, limited applicability. 4, potentials for exploitation. 5, overemphasis for efficiency. I'll be emphasizing mainly on 2 main points, that is, overemphasis on efficiency. We discovered that under scientific management theory, the employees use the workers as machines. They make them have limited time for the outside work, which is not good as human beings. Human beings must have time for work and must have time for leisure. It's not all about working, and it's not all about having fun, but we need to make life become balanced. The next point I'll be making emphasis on is monotonous work. In such a company, we discover that it has just one way of working and one decision making, which is bad. As an employer, you must have certain board members that are there to give you ideas on how to run the companies, on how to share the workforce. But if you being the employer and you have decided to take just one way, it will be bad for the company. That can even make certain people to leave that organization. The next step we'll be going to is to look at how this scientific management can be applied in schools. I'll state the points as follows. 1, it leads to high standard of excellence in the academic milieu. That is, teachers are equally evaluated and supervised using scientific management theory. 2, it can be used to supervise teachers in their pedagogic skills. In classroom, we discover that certain teachers just come and sign in for their money, neglecting the students there, and the headmasters or headmistress of the school can use this method to carry out pedagogic supervision. 3, we can use this method to evaluate teaching and learning process as a whole. 4, it can equally be used to make students learn to work like machines in their school. Because of all these disadvantages of scientific management theory, this is why the next theory came about.
I will be talking on administrative management theory, which is the second under the classical management theory category. The administrative management theory was founded by Henry Fayol in the early 20th century. He came up with 5 functions of managers and 14 principles of administrators, which they can use these 14 principles to achieve administrative or organizational goals. What are these 5 functions? The 5 functions include planning, organizing, staffing, budgeting, and controlling. And the 14 principles include division of labor, authority of responsibility, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest. We have centralization. We also have scalar chain order. And the 11 we have equity. 13 we have initiative. 14 we have esprit de corps. I would like to emphasize on some few principles of administrators. I would like to start with division of labor. When we talk about division of labor, what do we mean? It simply says that as an administrator, you are supposed to share the tasks in your organization to various departments. Let each department have a task to run so that the work will not be centralized or tied to one particular group. We now go to unity of direction. Unity of direction simply means the organization should be in a united way. They should have a direct, all the staffs should have one objective, which is a main objective of the organization. And we also have scalar chain, which simply clear line of communication. We all know that when there is no order of information, there might be disorder in the organization. Wrong information will be here and there. But if the organization has a direct order of information flows from the higher person to the lower person up to the last, you see that organizational or administrative work will go smoothly. And we also have initiative. Here, the administrator is to allow room for his employees to bring in their own ideas, which they believe will help to benefit and to increase the growth of the industry. I will end there. The next question I would like to ask and to answer is, how is this administrative management theory applied in schools? Okay, I will start with the first point. Clearly define the role and responsibilities for schools administration, teachers and staff. What does this one mean? It simply takes us back to one of the 14 principles that was given to us by Henry Fayol. That was given by Henry Fayol, which is division of labor, which simply means you split the different taxes to the different employees so that the efficiency and effectiveness of the work will be done quickly. The second one is establish a well-defined organizational structure with clear reporting lines and decision-making authority. Then the third I would like to emphasize on is develop and implement policies and procedures that highlight with the school's mission and vision. Having seen how these schools can be, how these principles can be applied in school, I would like to take you to the advantages and disadvantages of this administrative management theory, which I will start with the advantages. It provides a framework for understanding how organizations and how to effectively manage them. 2, it helps managers to identify and address problems in the workplace by applying rational and logical methods. It helps to achieve high productivity and predictability and fairness between workers, or rather teachers and administrators or managers. Having seen the advantages, it might also interest you to know that due to the disadvantages of the administrative management theory, another theory came up. But I would like to give you some few points on the disadvantages of this theory. It can lead to unintended consequences such as rigidity, resistance to change, and loss of creativity. The second point under disadvantage is that it relates on the experience of the classical writers who mainly work with large and stable manufacturing firms, which may not be applicable to other types of organization or dynamic environment. And then last but not the least, under the disadvantages, it makes untested assumptions about the nature and motivation of workers such that they are primarily driven by money, and that they have no need or interest outside the workplace. Having seen the disadvantages, I'll now have you.
We'll be talking on the bureaucratic management theory. Bureaucratic organization theory developed by Max Weber advocates for a hierarchical structure and formalized rules and regulations. Bureaucratic management is a management approach that emphasizes on the use of rules, procedure, hierarchy, and specialization to achieve organizational efficiency and effectiveness. So my coursemate will be giving a detailed explanation of it.
So bureaucratic management theory we are talking about here is simply talking about how the school or an organization can simply practice some rules, procedures in order to make sure that there's efficiency and effectiveness in managing or the organizational resources. So talking about that, we have some assumptions. What are the assumptions? In bureaucratic management theory, we have assumptions like formalization, we have division of labor, we have specialization, we have impersonality, we have rational decision making, we have centralized authority system. So those are some of the assumptions of the behavioral management theory. Now, what are the characteristics of this theory? We'll start with formalization. In behavioral management theory, there's formalization in the sense that people pass through formal procedures in order to make sure that they get their resources or carry out their tasks in the organization. For example, in a school, you must pass through formal procedures in making sure that maybe you enroll your child or your child start schooling in that particular school. In an organization, for example, you may want to ask for authorization to carry out a particular task. You must pass through the formal procedure in doing that. Or you may want to partner with another organization in order to carry out a task. You pass through formal procedures, maybe by writing a letter of collaboration to the organization. So that is an example of formalization. We have hierarchy. In a bureaucratic organization, there's a clear respect for hierarchy. It means everybody in that particular organization knows that there is a central person. There is a central person who is at the top that they all look up to. There's also specialization. In specialization here, we are talking about division of labor. When work are being shared in organizations, people having those particular skills will easily carry out these tasks effectively. So what are we saying? If this work are shared, or when this work are shared, the people working in their various units are doing what we call specialization in those particular units. So in a bureaucracy government, you see how everybody is specializing. For example, a classroom teacher in a school is specialized in doing what? Teaching maybe just that particular subject in that school. A discipline master is specialized in making sure that the discipline nature of that school is respected, or people respect, or people practice discipline in the school. So there's also impersonality. In a bureaucracy government, there's nothing like man no man or something like that in quotes, man no man in quotes. There's something that we call impersonality. It means you don't need to know this person, or this person know this person knows this person. Nobody knows who in an organization in the name of maybe you are biological relationship or something like that. There's also efficiency in a bureaucratic government. So those are some of the characteristics of a bureaucratic government. Now we are going to see the advantages of bureaucracy or bureaucratic government and the disadvantages. I'll leave my group member to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of this particular theory.
So on the advantages, we'll be looking at clear structure, standardized process, specialization, and accountability.
So when we talk of this clear structure, like I mentioned earlier, I will not pay much attention in explaining anymore. It's just making things to be clear, respecting the authority, making sure you know who is who you have to get to when you want to carry out something in an organization. They also have the disadvantages. There's rigidity. In rigidity, we are talking about their rules. For example, what they have been doing for the past 3 or for the past 5 years, they keep on doing the same thing. Their activities or their rules and regulations are rigid. They are not flexible. I mean, they don't change things. They don't change things in a hurry in a bureaucratic management organization. There's also slow decision making. Since there's a formalized procedure, you have to pass through different steps to make decision. You must contact all the various parties or get to the right person for decision making. So there's limited creativity and initiative. People in that organization or in such an organization are not given the room to be creative. They are not given the room to suggest. They are not given the room to exercise what they know in a bureaucracy organization. Then there's also organizational red tape. Organizational red tape. Thank you so much. These are some of the disadvantages of the bureaucratic management theory. And this theory, because of the disadvantages, we are going to see, or we are going to move directly to the next management theory.
Okay, I'll be talking on the criticisms on classical management theories. The number one of them is lack of flexibility. Number two is over emphasis on efficiency. Number three is ignoring human factors. And number four is resistance to change. Number five is limited to attention to social and environmental impact. Number six is lack of employee empowerment. But I will lay emphasis on two, which is number one is lack of flexibility. The management theories, like the management theories and bureaucratic theories, those two theories work hand in glove than the lay emphasis that workers should be more flexible. But that is not what in the real life situation. Workers are humans that they work day out. So according to the theories, there's humans to work like machines. The other one is lack of is ignoring human factors. Yes, bureaucratic theory work more on resources, focusing about the human factors, resources like the human resources like financial resources, material resources, and other resources, which the humans are using to develop the organization. So that is all about the criticism for the classical management theories. Thank you.
I will be talking on the human relations school. This, which the human relations school, which is the first under the neoclassical management theories. This human relations school says that there exists interpersonal relationship among members of an organization. It places more emphasis on relationship among the organizational members. It also lays emphasis about their well-being, and it is the manager's responsibility to ensure that all members or all team members of his organization should be in good terms. The organization should be an area where there is no conflict among them, so that they can achieve their goals and objectives. Looking at the advantages of the human relations school management, the first advantage is human relations schools focuses on importance of the individual and how to help each person reach their full potential. The second advantage is the second is that emphasis are laid on the importance of communication and relationship among team members. It also helps increase goodwill of a company. When there is good communication skill, collaboration, a company will operate smoothly. I will now move on to the disadvantages of the human relations school. One of the disadvantages is that human relations school focuses on individuals and on small group of processes rather than large organizations. Another disadvantage is that it focuses on lower level organizations rather than on the middle and the upper level organization. And the last but not the least, it sees only human needs as important and ignores other needs. Thank you.
We will be talking on the behavioral schools. The Behavioral School of Organizational Management expanded upon the human relations schools and introduced a broader range of behavioral theories and concepts. These theories focuses on understanding individuals and group behavior within organization. The following are the assumptions of the behavioral school. Human behavior is complex. Importance of individual differences and influences of social environment. So I will leave the floor for my coursemate to continue.
Alright, from what my fellow classmates here have just said, I will continue with the principles of behavioral schools. The first principle is motivation and human behavior. 2, leadership style and behavior. 3, group dynamic and teamwork. 4, organizational culture and culture climate and climate. And then from there I'll move to the advantages. The first advantage is that it focuses on human behavior. 2, individual differences. 3, practical application and learning. 4, employee development and learning. I will move from there direct to the disadvantages. 1 is that we have lack of comprehensive framework. 2, we have potential for manipulation. 5, we have limited consideration for external factors. And 6, we have differences in measuring factors. All these factors contributed for behavioral school. Thank you. Okay, I'll be talking on system theory. This theory is a dynamic and interconnectedness theory which work as a system in all the organizations. This system theory works in all departments. Like for example, if the Department of Education had a problem the other departments or faculty in school will also run down.
Fellow viewers, we are going to look at the next theory, which is called the new theory that is called the contingency management theory. So when we talk of contingency here, we are just talking about the ability for a manager or for management to be able to switch or to be flexible from one approach to another. So about the contingency theory, I would like to relate it to where it is located. So contingency theory is the second theory of the modern management theory. Remember, the modern management theory theories came after the neoclassical theories category. So these modern management theories are most of the theories that we are using in management currently. And when we talk of this, we are talking about contingency, which is the second modern management theory. So contingency theory holds on the fact that in management there is nothing like one size fits all in the way of doing things. It means there's no particular strategy, no particular way that management can use in order to make sure that they carry out activities in the organization. So there will always be flexibility, always be dynamism, always be changes in the various approaches and techniques. So while there are changes or there are dynamics in doing things in the organization, management should pay attention to the technological factors or level of technology. There's also market condition. Management should pay attention to the market condition and also employee characteristics. Management should also think about the practices that can be adapted to each other, so based on the situation. So contingency theory, like I said, holds on the fact that effective management should not be based on one technique, one strategy, or one approach, but rather being flexible based on the situation at hand. So I will leave the floor to my to my group member, or my group mate to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of contingency theory in management.
I'll be talking on the advantages and disadvantages of a contingency theory. But firstly, I will start with the advantages. One, it leads to flexibility. Two, it leads to better decision making. Three, it improves performance. Four, it leads to increased employee satisfaction. Two, and five, it leads to fitness between the organization and the environment. But we're making emphasis basically just on two main points. One, it leads to better decision making, in a sense that it does not have one fitness of style that they use in that company. That's they can carry out transformational style, they can carry out transformational leadership, laissez-faire leadership, any type of leadership that will change the mentality of the board members. The next point I'm making emphasis on is increased employee satisfaction. In such an organization, we found out that since it has diversified styles in which they can use to carry out decision making or carry out their workforce, it leads to employee satisfaction. Those who practice laissez-faire, they'll be well satisfied accordingly with those who practice transformational leadership. Then next, I'll be looking on the disadvantages of this theory. One, we have complexity. Two, we have difficulties in predicting outcome. Three, we have dependence on subjective judgment. And four, we have lack of clear guidelines. I'll be making emphasis just on two basic points. First, lack of clear guidance. In this kind of a theory where we have diversified styles, at times we have a very difficult method in which we can find out a specific guideline that will follow all along through with the various different styles. You cannot carry a transformational style and you're imposing it on a laissez-faire kind of style. Obviously, it's not going to go and it's not going to work in such a workflow. So we have to look for clear guidelines to carry out in this kind of an organization, which is first of all impossible because of the numerous styles present in the situation. That's the main disadvantage. Secondly, I'll be talking on difficulty in predicting outcome. In this kind of an organization where we have many different types of styles, it's very difficult to predict the outcome. At certain points, we will be like, let's try out this transformational leadership style on this particular problem that we're facing out on. It's just a try, and we don't even yet know the outcome. We're just guessing that this is what's going to happen. On carrying out the transformational leadership style there, we don't even know the outcome, and the outcome can either be positive or negative. So in such an organization, unlike others that the style is fixed, this one you have it faces a lot of difficulty in predicting its outcome. My colleague will be talking on the application of this theory.
So we are going to look at how this theory can be applicable in modern management. So the first one we'll look at is leadership styles. So you see contingency, with leadership we can use the situational leadership styles. So contingency theory will go with situational leadership style. Situational leadership style is actually a leadership style that stipulate or that holds on the fact that a particular leadership style should not be used in every aspect, but the leaders or managers should always be flexible enough. They should always fluctuate. They should always change their leadership styles based on the various situations. We also have decision making. Contingency can help in decision making in the sense that when the situation arises, if you pay attention in trying to judge, in trying to evaluate that particular situation, it will help you to know which type of conclusion to apply on that particular issue of concern. We also have strategic planning, we also have human resource management, we also have organizational structure. So in contingency, we are just trying to explain that management or leadership styles should always be flexible. They should not be rigid, because when they are rigid in certain situations, they may provide wrong solutions. So this, because of the disadvantages of this contingency theory, such as not knowing the outcome of a task or of a particular situation, it now gave rise to the introduction of the other management theories.
Fellow viewers, we are going to see right now, we are going to see the behavioral management theory, which is another theory under the neoclassical management theory category. So the behavioral management theory was propounded by B.F. Skinner, who was an American psychologist. So it means this theory can be traced from the field of psychology. Now, what is behavioral management theory all about? Behavioral management theory pays emphasis on the fact that behaviors of organizational members can be modified or shaped either by external or internal factors. This theory came up in the early 20th century. So the behavioral management theories have some assumptions. These assumptions here include people are motivated by their needs. That is the first one. The theory made us to understand that people are motivated by their needs. These needs can be seen based on the Maslow's theory of hierarchical need. So the next assumption is behavior is determined by external stimuli. Behavior of organization members can be determined by external stimuli. So we have the next assumption for the behavioral management theory, which is talking about how people learn in organizations. People learn through what? Through observation and even through experience. It means people can learn best in organizations through what? Observing from other members of the organization and through experience. That's if they have done it before. So we also have another assumption of the behavioral management theory, which is talking about the level of cognitiveness. That's the ability of people to acquire or to have knowledge or skills in organizations. So it makes us to understand that people have their different level of cognitive understanding or cognitive ability. The last but not the least assumption of the behavioral theory is about talking on the fact that people can be trained to improve on their performance. So in organizations, these behaviors can be modified or shaped through training. So those are some of the assumptions of the behavioral management theory. Right now, I will just move directly to the principles of this behavioral management theory. We have one, positive reinforcement. B.F. Skinner emphasized that we can use positive reinforcement in organizations in order to encourage positive behaviors or good behaviors. For example, when somebody works well in an organization, or if a worker is working well, is doing well, you can give reward to that worker. You can give award to such a worker. You can give maybe additional pay. You can give that worker gift, something that will make that worker to keep portraying or keep showing that positive behavior. Now, we also have punishment. B.F. Skinner also emphasized that punishment can be used to eradicate or to stop unwanted or negative behaviors in organizations. For example, if a worker is coming late, if a worker comes late always at work in an organization, or a student in a school notice for late coming, they can impose punishment on that particular worker or that particular student. I think that punishment will help to stop that negative behavior. We also have extinction. It is another principle. Extinction is when you withdraw the gift or the benefit that you placed on a desirable behavior. It means when you see that that particular person is no longer showing positive behaviors, you can withdraw what you gave to that person. For example, making somebody a manager in an organization because that person had the qualities or were showing good time management skills, good leadership skills, good management skills or management abilities. But when you discover that that person is no longer showing all those skills, all those positive behaviors, you can now demote that person from maybe being a manager to a cleaner. That is an example of extinction. We also have modeling. Modeling is about observing behaviors from others in organizations. We also have generalization. Generalization is when you impose a particular good behavior on everybody in an organization. So those are some of the principles of behavioral management theory. I will move directly to the advantages of this behavioral management theory. We have advantages like, we have something like positive reinforcement. It is an advantage. We have punishment. We have shaping. We have motivation. We have extinction. Sorry, those were the principles of behavioral management theory we just mentioned. Now I'll talk about the advantages of behavioral management theory. So as far as the advantages are concerned, we have employee motivation. When you do all these positive things, when you use reinforcement to encourage behavior, it motivates the worker in an organization. We also have improved communication. Behavioral management theory will help to improve communication in organizations. We also have employee development. Employee development. Employees will be developed through behavioral, because a behavioral management, you pay more attention in making sure that you practice transformational leadership style. on the workers, you try to change them. So when you are changing them, we are really developing them. So that is what that particular advantage is talking about. We have greater job satisfaction. Behavioral management theory will help to create a better or a greater job satisfaction to the workers. So we have disadvantages. Normally, anything that has advantages also have disadvantages. And as far as the disadvantage of behavioral management, this behavioral management theory is concerned, we have one, time consuming. It is not easy to transform a worker. So in order for you to change somebody, it will take a lot of time, it will take some time, you have to take some energy. So it's time consuming. We have resistance to change. In an organization, no matter what you do, as the leader, the administrator, or the manager, some people will take time to change. That's why in organizational culture, we have organizational change. And as far as change is concerned, change can gradually be initiated. Why? Some people can still change instantly. The majority of the people in the organization will change over time. So it's time consuming, and some people are resistant to change, meaning they are not willing. Take for example, so many workers are not upgraded technologically. But now, when such a lesson is brought up, just few of the workers are willing to take up such training. So some people are resistant to change. We have overemphasis on individual factors is also a disadvantage. We have complexity is also a disadvantage, and we have subjectivity is also a disadvantage. So now the question is, how can we apply this behavioral management theory in schools or organizations? In school, we can apply behavioral management theory by developing clear expectation. That is the first. Develop clear expectation. Sit your workers down. Tell them what you want them to do. Tell them how you want the work to be done. Make them to understand the outcome of various tasks they are to carry out. That is clear expectation. We have encouraged positive behavior. Yes, you can encourage positive behavior in a school by doing what? Provide awards, give awards for best students, best learners, the most punctual student. Those are examples of how positive behaviors can be encouraged in school. We have punishment, the use of punishment appropriately. When we talk of appropriately, we mean when you are giving punishment to a student or to a particular person in an organization, make sure the punishment is equivalent to the crime committed. That is an example. That is what punishment or using punishment appropriately is talking about in school. We also have implement behavior contract. Behavior contract, we are talking about pasting of some items on the school walls where people can easily get in contact with those things, and those things will help them to remind them about positive behaviors. For example, if you want people to cultivate the habit of washing their hands, you can do what? You can do some flyers, some posters, and paste on the various walls on the school environment, so that when people are passing, they will create emphasis. When students are passing, will create emphasis. It will help them to cultivate that behavior of washing their hands. We have engaged parents and guardians. Yes, you can encourage a positive behavior in a school by doing what? Engaging parents and guardians in decision making and in making sure that they take part in the implementation. For example, that's why we have PTA in school. PTA will help us or help the students and the teachers to make sure that some things that are expected from the students are being done properly. For example, a parent knows that when a child gets home, they need to check their books if they have done assignment, or ask them questions about the lesson, about how their school day was. So those are some of the ways, or some of the tools, some of the strategies in which we can use this behavioral theory to improve on teaching and learning in school, while improving on organizational effectiveness and efficiency and output. Thank you so much for watching this particular section of our work.
Now we are going to look at the management science, which is the last theory or the recent theory under the modern management theory category or modern management theories category. So talking about management science, it is a modern management theory that apply mathematical and analytical model to solve complex organizational problems and also optimize decision-making process. It is a technique or it uses techniques in its activities. When we talk of technique in activities, we are talking about techniques such as mathematics, statistics, computer science, economics, and other techniques in analyzing data in organizations. So these are some of the techniques that the management science uses in making sure that organizational management activities becomes successful. We'll now look at the principles, the disadvantages or the advantages and disadvantages of this particular management science theory.
One of the principles we have under this theory is mathematical modeling, optimization of technology, data analysis and statistical methods, stimulation and forecasting. Then moving now to advantages of this theory, we go to data. The first advantage is data-driven decision. Data-driven decision. The second one is optimization of resources. The third, process improvement and efficiency. And the last, complex problem solving. Going now to the disadvantages, the first that we have there is data limitation and resistance to change. Thank you.
So we'll go directly to the application of this theory to modern management. How can this theory be applicable in modern management? We'll look at project management. This theory, which is called management science, will help to provide tools for resource allocation, risk analysis, and project scheduling. We'll look at decision support system. Management science will provide decision support system to assist managers in analyzing complex problems. It will also help to provide data analysis techniques. So we'll look at financial analysis. Management science can be used to evaluate investment options or pricing models, and also risk management. We'll look at supply chain optimization. Management science will help in production planning, logistics, and distribution process or distribution activities. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow viewers, we have seen how management science is advantageous and disadvantageous, and we have also seen how the management science can be applicable in modern management theory. Remember, management science is the recent management theory used in many organizations in order to carry out the production and distribution of resources in order to achieve the organizational goals and objectives. Thank you so much for watching this video, as you have been able to learn the classification of management processes or management theories since the inception of organizational management. So see you in the next video, where we are going to talk about other issues related to management, leadership, and administration. Thank you so much.